Please welcome Jasmine Furtado, Captain, United States Space Force.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jasmine Furtado. I'm a captain in the United States Space Force, and my focus is on AI implementation. In my most recent position, I was pulled into an Air Force software development organization and instructed to do AI. And as professionals in the data space, I'm sure you all know it's sometimes difficult to get AI initiatives from concept to reality. So I'm here today to share what that do AI direction led me to, and hopefully you can derive value from my lessons learned in this role and the team I created to support it. I just quickly need to share a disclaimer that the information expressed in this presentation are those of myself and do not necessarily reflect those of the Department of Defense, the United States Air Force, or Kessel Run, the organization I work for. Now, to give a little bit about myself, I got both my undergraduate and graduate degrees in operations research. That's where I got my background in artificial intelligence and machine learning. And I was pulled into the Air Force as a program manager and subsequently into Kessel Run. Kessel Run is a modern software development organization in the Air Force. We follow lean, agile, CI/CD practices. We are developing software quickly and iteratively to get software in front of users and capability in front of users quickly. So being in this organization, I first documented all the different ways that we could benefit from artificial intelligence and specifically machine learning. And I quickly realized that although all these opportunities were there, the infrastructure was not in place in order to support these capabilities. And so my focus shifted to creating a team focused on establishing a solid data foundation, solid data infrastructure to be able to support more advanced data science opportunities more long term. So our focus was on data governance, creating data infrastructure, and in parallel, as much as we could, we did analytics, even things that were more basic, with the thought that we would create a foundation for something more advanced to be supported in the future along the lines of things that are more data centric around machine learning. And I realized that in putting together this team, I was following this narrative and it made sense from a common sense standpoint, but I didn't know if I was just following my gut on a lot of things. I didn't have a way to test if we were really focused on the right things at the right time. And that led me to pursuing and obtaining this fellowship with SpaceX. I wanted to know how commercial industry partners like SpaceX approached AI and ML. And I realized that they face similar challenges that we face in the DoD. The introduction and integration of AI capabilities are so important. And it's important to put a lot of thought into it because that lays the foundation and lays the roadmap out for us to have sustainable AI, which is really what we want in modern software development. So there are three core concepts from my experiences that I found are needed for a long-term integrated AI project to be successful. The first, take action. This is actually one of Kessel Run's core tenets, bias for action. Many times we hold ourselves back from making sure things are perfect, especially in the AI realm. We're crossing our T's, we're dotting our I's, we're accounting for all of the risks, we're figuring out how to mitigate all those risks, we're creating a roadmap from start to finish, and so from the concept to delivery of a product. And many times that holds us back. We need to know when is good enough. When is the right time to start building and maybe even more importantly, start integrating with the software. If you incubate in isolation for too long, your capability is quickly going to become irrelevant, either from a tech standpoint or a user standpoint, and you're not going to be able to provide the value that you actually want to be able to provide with this capability. We're going so fast in software, we cannot afford to not take action quickly. Next, start small. Really, this has been one of the most difficult things to do in my experience when it comes to artificial intelligence, machine learning. We get into this rhythm. We want to keep building on this MVP, add more capabilities. It's just this much more effort to add this little feature into this AI technology. It's really easy to get out of scope of the original intent. So really be realistic about what is the smallest amount of value you can provide and be disciplined to stick to that. Or if you need to pivot, that's fine, but the size and scope should still be small. Keeping things small keeps things near term, keeps value near term, and it keeps things actionable. If you start a project and you have an MVP that's way too large, it only makes it more difficult to integrate, to pivot, and even to abandon if it's just not working. It really handcuffs agility to start too large. And last, iterate. Set up an environment and a system where you can continuously develop and get feedback. And when you do this at Kessel Run quite well, we're able to update our software and provide value to user really quickly. And AI should follow suit. Because you can think about it, AI is just software. So we need to be looking at AI through this lens. This allows users to gain trust in the system and allows for growing pains to be addressed quickly. If you have a big bang release, the chances of the capability being really what is needed is much lower, and that leads to wasted time and resources. Now, I find that the largest enabler for all of this to take root in an organization is culture. I think a lot of times we get lost in technology, especially when we talk about AI, data science, analytics. We are focused on the technology, the tech stack, the data. How are we training these algorithms? What frameworks are we using? And that is all important. That's all very important technical aspects, but we cannot overlook the importance of culture. We need to bring the organization that you're a part of along to support these data efforts and really challenge them to think about their data differently, challenge them to internalize what that means. There are three things I want to point out here. First, education. Educating people of what data people care about. To data people as in data engineers, data scientists, people that are owning the business value of data, people that are overseeing the ethics and legal standpoint of data. What do all these various stakeholders when it comes to developing a data project care about? This makes data approachable and digestible. Show value. We need to be able to translate our data language to user language and be able to show the progress of our data using things that are easy to understand, measures that are easy to track and comprehend. This makes data appreciable. And last, decentralize. We need to move away from the concept that data science capabilities are only housed and provided and understood by data people, data scientists. The organization at large needs to be empowered to be able to make data-driven decisions because not all the insights and analysis can possibly be done by one small team. So it's important to make data and data analysis tools accessible. Now, thinking back to my experiences to date, the road to do AI has not been straightforward. We have such exciting potential and opportunities within the DoD, but like anywhere else, it needs to be very carefully approached. It takes good communication, clear communication, and collaboration with multiple people. So we really lean on ourselves as data leaders to be able to make data digestible, appreciable, and accessible to everyone in an organization. Because that's how we create sustainable and integrated AI capabilities. I want to thank you all for the opportunity to be able to speak with you all today. I'm happy to talk further and answer any questions that you may have. because these conversations are how we get a shared understanding of things, of concepts, of problems, of pain points. We learn from each other and we move forward together.